Let's talk about how you can potentially add $50, $75, or even $100,000 to your military compensation over the course of your career by making strategic decisions about your specialty, your timing, and your commitment. We're diving into military incentive pays and bonuses, the money that the military uses to attract you to certain career fields and keep you there once you've mastered those skills. Here's what most people don't understand. The military has a fundamental problem. They need highly skilled people in specialized fields. Pilots, submariners, special operations forces, nuclear technician, linguistics, cyber warfare specialists. But these same people are incredibly valuable in the civilian world. A pilot can leave the military and make $300,000 a year flying for Delta. A nuclear technician can work for a power plant. A cyber specialist can work for Google. So how does the military compete? The answer is incentive pays and bonuses. Lots of them. There are dozens of different types. They can stack in certain combinations, and if you play your cards right, you can structure your military career to maximize this additional income while building skills that set you up for life after service. Let's start with the big categories. First, career-specific incentive pays. These are monthly payments you receive simply for being qualified in certain specialties and continuing to serve in those roles. The 6 major ones are aviation career incentive pay, submarine duty incentive pay, career sea pay, diving duty pay, career enlisted flyer incentive pay, and foreign language proficiency pay. Aviation Career Incentive Pay, ACIP. If you're a rated military pilot, this is your money. ACIP is designed to keep experienced pilots in uniform instead of jumping ship to the airlines. Rates range from $125 per month for junior aviators to $1,000 per month for the most experienced pilots. The top rate, that's $12,000 per year. Over a 20-year career, we're talking $240,000 in ACIP alone. And here's how it works. You have to be a rated officer, meaning you've completed flight training and earned your wings. You have to remain on aviation service, which means you're actively flying or assigned to aviation-related duties. And the amount you get increases with your years of aviation service and your rank. A captain with 6 years of aviation service might get $650 per month. A lieutenant colonel with 14 years gets $1,000. The military needs to keep experienced pilots because it takes years and millions of dollars to create one. Your ACIP is their way of saying, please don't leave for United Airlines. Submarine duty incentive pay, sub pay. If you're qualified in submarines and you're serving on a sub, you get extra pay. This ranges from $75 per month for junior enlisted submariners to $950 per month for senior enlisted with extensive submarine experience. Officers can get up to $730 per month. Why so much? Because submarine duty is hard. You're living in a metal tube underwater for months at a time. You can't talk to your family, you can't see daylight, and the work is incredibly demanding. The Navy knows that if they don't pay you extra, you'll get out as soon as you can, so they incentivize you to stay. Career Sea Pay, CSP. This is for sailors serving on ships. Even if you're not on a submarine, just being at sea for extended periods earns you extra pay. Rates vary by rank and how much cumulative sea time you have. Junior sailors might get $50 to $100 per month. Senior enlisted with over 10 years of sea time can get over $500 per month. Diving duty pay. Military divers, whether combat divers, salvage divers, or master divers, get monthly pay ranging from $110 to $340 depending on their certification level. It's not as much as aviation or submarine pay, but it's consistent income for a specialized, dangerous skill. Career Enlisted Flyer Incentive Pay, CEFIP. This is the enlisted version of ACIP. If you're an enlisted aircrew member, a loadmaster, flight engineer, aerial gunner, sensor operator, you get monthly flight pay ranging from $150 for less than 4 years of flying to $400 per month for over 14 years. That's $4,800 per year at the top rate. Foreign Language Proficiency Pay, FLPP. This one is huge and it's available to both officers and enlisted across all branches. If you're proficient in a foreign language the military needs, you can earn up to $12,000 per year, $1,000 per month, just for maintaining that proficiency. Here's how it works. You take a Defense Language Proficiency Test, a DLPT, which tests your reading and listening skills in a foreign language. If you score high enough, and if the language is on the military's list of needed languages, you start receiving monthly payments. High demand languages like Arabic, Pashto, Dari, Farsi, Mandarin, Chinese, Russian, and Korean pay the most. You can get paid for up to 2 languages simultaneously. So if you're fluent in both Arabic and Farsi, and you test proficient in both, you can be earning $24,000 per year in language pay alone. I've met linguists pulling in that kind of money just for speaking languages they already knew or learned in the military language school. You have to retest annually to keep getting paid, but if you're maintaining your proficiency, it's an incredible deal. Now, let's talk about bonuses. Unlike incentive pays, which are ongoing monthly payments, bonuses are typically lump sum payments or annual payments made when you hit career milestones, enlisting, reenlisting, taking a special assignment, or agreeing to extend your service. Enlistment bonuses. These are cash payments offered to new recruits who enlist for certain high-demand jobs. The Army currently offers enlistment bonuses of up to $50,000 for combinations of in-demand specialties, quick ship dates, and contract lengths. Individual job bonuses can range from $3,000 to $45,000 depending on the military occupational specialty. For example, if you're enlisting as a linguist with prior language skills in a critical language, you might get a $40,000 bonus. If you're enlisting in a combat arms specialty that's undermanned, you might get $15,000 to $20,000. If you agree to ship to basic training within 30 days of signing your contract, you might get an additional $10,000 in quick ship bonus. These bonuses are typically paid out in installments. You might get half up front after completing your initial training and the rest spread out over the length of your contract. The key is that if you fail to complete your contract for any reason other than a medical discharge or a service-related issue, you'll have to pay the bonus back. Selective reenlistment bonus, SRB. This is the big one for people already serving. The SRB is a cash incentive paid to enlisted service members who re-enlist in critical military skills. Current maximum, $100,000 for a 4-year re-enlistment, paid as $25,000 per year. Here's how the SRB works. The military divides your career into zones based on years of service. Zone A is your first re-enlistment, usually around the 4-year mark. Zone B is your second re-enlistment, typically between 6 and 10 years. Zone C is your third re-enlistment between 10 and 14 years. Each military occupational specialty gets assigned an SRB multiplier based on how desperately the military needs to retain people in that field. The multiplier ranges from 0, no bonus, to 8 or higher, which is a massive bonus. Your bonus is calculated by multiplying your monthly base pay times the SRB multiplier times your years of additional service commitment. Here's a real example. You're in E5 with 6 years of service making $3,300 per month. Your MOS has an SRB multiplier of 4.0. You re-enlist for 4 years. Your bonus would be $3,300 times 4.0 times 4 years, equaling $52,800. That's life-changing money. You get half up front, $26,400 in this example, and the rest is paid in annual installments. And here's the beautiful part. If you re-enlist while serving in a designated combat zone, the entire bonus is tax-free. The catch? You have to stay in that specific MOS for the entire contract. If you switch to a different job, you'll likely have to pay a portion of the bonus back. Aviation Continuation Pay, ACP. This is specifically for pilots. After your initial service commitment, usually around the 10-year mark, the military offers you a contract extension bonus to keep you flying. ACP rates vary by service and by year group, but they can be as high as $35,000 to $50,000 per year for multi-year commitments. A pilot might sign a 5-year ACP contract and receive $175,000 to $250,000 over that period. Again, the military is competing with airlines that will pay you $300,000 plus per year, so they're trying to make staying in the military financially attractive enough to compete. Nuclear officer bonuses. Navy nuclear officers, the people who run the reactors on aircraft carriers and submarines, get some of the most lucrative bonuses in the entire military. There are multiple bonuses: nuclear officer incentive pay, nuclear career annual incentive bonus, and nuclear qualified officer continuation pay. Combined, these can exceed $150,000 over the course of a nuclear officer's career. The military invests millions training nuclear officers, and they cannot afford to lose them, so they pay handsomely to keep them. Medical and dental bonuses. Military doctors, dentists, and certain specialized healthcare providers get massive bonuses, some of the highest in the entire military. Medical officers can receive annual bonuses ranging from $10,000 to $60,000 depending on their specialty. Critical specialties like anesthesiology, surgery, and radiology can command bonuses of $50,000 plus per year. Over a career, this can exceed $400,000. Now, let's talk about promotions as an incentive tool, because this is something people don't think about enough. Every time you get promoted, your base pay increases. But unlike the civilian world where promotions can be political or arbitrary, military promotions are relatively structured and predictable. Enlisted members are typically promoted 3 times during their first 4-year enlistment. You start as an E1, you'll probably make E2 after 6 months, E3 after a year, and E4 by your 3rd or 4th year if you're performing well. Each promotion brings a pay increase. An E1 makes about $25,000 per year. An E4 with 3 years makes about $34,000. That's a 36% increase in base pay in just 3 years. Officers are usually promoted twice during their first 4 years. You start as an O1, make O2 after 2 years, and O3 around the 4-year mark. An O1 makes about $43,000 per year. An O3 with 4 years makes about $66,000. That's a 53% increase. The military promotes based on a combination of job performance, time in service, physical fitness, and the needs of the service. If you excel in your job, maintain your fitness standards, stay out of trouble, and there's a need for people at the next rank, you'll get promoted. It's far more meritocratic than most civilian organizations. And here's a strategic career tip. Choose career fields where promotion rates are fast. Some specialties promote quickly because they have high turnover or critical shortages. Others are slow because they're overmanned. A smart service member researches promotion rates in different fields before choosing their specialty. Here's how to maximize your incentive pay and bonus income over a military career. Strategy 1. Choose a high-demand specialty from day one. If you're enlisting, look at which MOSs have the highest enlistment bonuses. That's a direct indicator of what the military desperately needs. Sign up for one of those jobs, get the big bonus, learn valuable skills, and set yourself up for either great civilian opportunities or big reenlistment bonuses down the line. Strategy 2, learn a critical language. If you have any language aptitude, attend Defense Language Institute or learn a critical language on your own and test for FLPP. An extra $6,000 to $12,000 per year for the rest of your career is worth the effort. Strategy 3, time your reenlistment strategically. SRB multipliers change constantly based on manning needs. If you're eligible to reenlist and your multiplier is low, you might consider extending for 1 year and waiting to see if the multiplier increases. Career counselors can help you game the system. Strategy 4, reenlist in combat zones when possible. If you're deployed and it's time to reenlist, do it while you're deployed. Your entire reenlistment bonus becomes tax-free. On a $50,000 bonus, that could save you $10,000 to $15,000 in taxes. Strategy 5, stack your incentive pays intelligently. Remember, you can't earn unlimited special pay simultaneously, but you can strategically combine things. An enlisted aircrew member who speaks Arabic is earning both career enlisted flyer incentive pay and foreign language proficiency pay. That's $400 a month plus $1,000 a month, equaling $16,800 a year in incentive pays alone. Strategy 6, pursue career fields with longevity incentives. Aviation, submarine duty, and special operations all have incentive structures that reward you for staying. The longer you stay, the more you make. If you plan to do 20 years, these fields pay dramatically better over time than jobs with no career-specific incentive pays. Here's a real-world example. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen. She's a Navy P-8 pilot, maritime patrol aircraft. She's an O4 with 12 years of service. Let's total up her compensation beyond base pay. Her base pay, $96,000 a year. BAH San Diego, $40,356 a year. BAS, $3,840 a year. Aviation career incentive pay, $9,600 a year. Her total, $149,796 a year. Of that, $53,796 is tax-free. Equivalent taxable income value, approximately $175,000 a year. But wait, she just signed a 5-year aviation continuation pay contract for $175,000 total, paid as $35,000 per year. Her annual compensation is now $184,796, with over $88,000 of that tax advantaged. Her equivalent taxable income, approximately $225,000 a year. That's the power of understanding and maximizing incentive pays. Here are some common mistakes: not researching bonuses before enlisting, not tracking SRB multiplier changes, letting language proficiency lapse and losing FLPP, not re-enlisting in combat zones, switching out of high incentive career fields, not negotiating ACP contracts properly. Here's the bottom line: military incentive pays and bonuses represent potentially $100,000 to $300,000 or more over a 20-year career if you make smart choices. Combined with base pay, allowances, benefits, and retirement, it makes military service far more financially competitive than most people realize. This is how you win the military compensation game.